Right, hello everybody. Thanks for watching the second one of these short videos where the branch is trying to update you about the USS pensions dispute. So in the first of the videos we talked about the cause of the dispute, and you'll recall I showed you this graph which essentially just explains that the cause of the dispute is this flawed valuation whereby in the USS pension fund is assuming that its assets are going to grow at a remarkably pessimistic rate compared to previous assumptions and actual asset growth performance. And because of that extraordinarily prudent or conservative or pessimistic set of assumptions, they say the scheme doesn't have enough money. And as I explained in the previous video, various economic commentators have described these assumptions as insanely pessimistic. So, as a result of those assumptions, what is UUK proposing happens to your pension? Well, let's just go through the current scheme. So the current scheme, per year, you earn 1/75th of your salary as a pension accrual, up to a cap of £60,000. And if you earn more than £60,000, above that cap goes into a savings account, a defined contribution savings account, which you get as a lump sum on retirement, which is invested on your behalf and you get as a lump sum, but there's no guaranteed pension as a result of that. Importantly, at the moment there's what's called a 5% soft inflation cap, which means if your pension accrual to date is uprated by inflation up to a soft limit of 5%. So if inflation is between 0 and 5%, your pension is uprated by that figure. If inflation is between 5 and 15%, your pension is uprated by up to 5%, you get the whole of that. Between 5 and 15%, you get half of that. So, for example, if inflation is 15% in any one year, your pension would be uprated by 10%. And that, there's other aspects of the USS scheme in lump sums and so on, but that's the headlines. And currently that costs 21.1% of salary for employers and 9.6% for employees. So what's UUK suggesting? UUK is saying that they want to reduce your annual accrual from 1/75th of your salary to 1/85th. So that's a reduction. They want to reduce the defined benefit cap from £60,000 to £40,000. So that's a significant reduction. So they're saying that your guaranteed pension is only going to come from the first £40,000 of your salary. And above that, your money goes into this savings account, which has no guarantees associated with it. I think most alarmingly, they want to replace this 5% soft cap with a 2.5% hard cap. So that means that your existing accrual is only uprated by inflation up to 2.5%. So if inflation is, say, 3.2%, as it was in August this year, then your pension declines in value in real terms. And it's worth saying that 2.5% hard inflation cap, that's the legal minimum. So they would be breaking the law if they had a lower inflation cap than that. So that really is a very significant reduction in your pension value. And it's worth saying that that's quite a hidden cost. So in some of UUK's figures that they've put out, they've assumed that inflation will never go above 2.5%, and then said, but the reduction that we're proposing is not that big. But of course you can't assume that inflation will never go above 2.5%, and indeed it currently is above 2.5%. So for that package, which is a cut of, maybe 23, depends on who you are, but around about 23%, perhaps, for most people, UUK would like you to pay more for. So they're proposing that will cost 21.4% for employers and 9.8% for employees. So only a slight increase in contribution rates for that massively worse package. So, in summary here, what's going on is that we've got this flawed valuation, and UUK agree it's a flawed valuation. They are very critical of the valuation, as are management here at Loughborough, very critical, rightly so. But they're asking staff to pick up almost the entire cost of that flawed valuation, which seems to me to be obviously problematic. Just to illustrate the 2.5% cap issue, so this is a graph of inflation over the last 10 years taken from the BBC, and you can see that it's really not that rare for inflation to be above 2.5%. So as I say, it is at the moment, was for a period in 2017-18, was for a long period between 2012 and 2014. In all those periods, under the UUK plans, the value of your pension will be going down. So that's potentially an extremely serious problem, which could dramatically affect how much money you are able to live on when you retire. So how much will it actually cost you? Well, happily, UCU have commissioned First Actuarial, a group of a professional firm of actuaries, to try and model this, which I'll just briefly show you how to use here. So, for example, you get a web page like this. Let's assume that someone who was born on the 1st of January 1980 and is currently in the middle of grade 7, so earns 45,000. Let's imagine they're hoping to get promoted into, say, 55,000 in 5 years' time, and you can add more, add more promotions if you're expect that. Then what happens to this person? Oh, something's gone wrong there. Let's put that back to 1st January. So, under the current benefit package, this person would be expected to get an annual guaranteed pension income of £17,300. Under the new scheme, that is going to be cut to 10,200. So that's a cut of about 7,000 guaranteed. However, there is a bit more fiddly than that because of the lump sum. So because of the cut in the value in the cap, the defined benefit cap, the lump sum that this person get will change from. So at the moment, they would be expected to get £51,900 of lump sum from the defined benefit section of the scheme and 19,000 from the investment builder, which is the bit above the defined benefit cap. So that's a total of about 70. Under the new scheme, their defined benefit lump sum would be downgraded a lot, but their defined contribution lump sum would be upgraded a lot. So they would be expected to get about 150,000. So it's about £80,000 more. So £7,000 a year less, £80,000 lump sum on retirement more. So one thing you can do is say, well, to what extent does that £80,000 make up for this loss of annual defined benefit pension? And you can calculate that yourself by going to this tool. So suppose you spent that £80,000 on an annuity, so an annual income, at age 65, how much would that get you? Well, it would get you about £2,100. So if we go back to here, what you can say is, well, of that £7,000 loss, maybe £2,000 of it is made up for by this lump sum change. So the total loss for this fictional person is about £5,000 a year every year in retirement. So that's how much UK is asking this person to pay for the flawed valuation. With that, I'll just stop there and thank you again for watching. I hope you found that useful.